Hello everyone, welcome to Dark Matters. Today I thought it would be interesting to discuss dolls. For some reason, when you place them in the corner of the house and stare at them, they give you the chills, don't they? In fact, there's even a genre called doll horror. Dolls, with their humanoid appearances and expressionless faces, evoke this strange aversion in many people for some reason. Let's delve into an Asian tale related to dolls, a Japanese one. The central theme of doll horror stories often revolves around a doll that harbors resentment. This doll then seeks revenge when discarded or disliked by its owner, evoking a deep sense of fear. The haunted doll phenomenon has shared its tales and terror worldwide, from Japan to Russia and to America. In recent years, the story of the haunted doll has even graced our television screens. Movies such as Chucky and Annabelle have reignited the imaginations of horror fans around the globe. In the 20th century Japan, while the rest of the world was moving forward with technology, science, and industrialism, Japan stood firm in its quest to hold on to tradition, fables, and mythology. To the everyday Japanese citizen, this was a country where demons, spirits, and ghosts roamed free amongst the people, harassing people day by day. In regards to dark magic and spirits, it was commonly known in Japan that some things just simply shouldn't be touched. Japanese dolls were at the top of that list, often seen by many as powerful instruments of magic. Dolls were something you did not want to mess with. In a country where the belief in objects possessing spirits was common, dolls were especially seen as having a higher likelihood of housing spirits. Instead of discarding dolls, people often take them to doll temples or doll shrines to be enshrined. Among Japan's famous ghost stories, the tale of the hair-growing doll is one of them. These ghost stories revolve around dolls called the Ichimatsu doll. The Ichimatsu doll is a type of traditional Japanese amulet doll dressed in Japanese clothing. It is loved by many Japanese people, but its round face, short hair, and kimono give off a fundamentally expressionless appearance that seems eerie. Moreover, the doll is made from plaster or wood with white chalk applied to its head and limbs, and it is sold naked with a cloth wrapped below its face, allowing the buyer to personally dress the doll by making its clothes. The dolls typically range from about 20 centimeters to 80 centimeters in size and can be both female and male, with real human hair transplanted. And since they are made from fragile materials, they are usually stored in wooden boxes. In Japan, on March 3rd, the Hinamatsuri, Doll's Day or Girl's Day, the Ichimatsu doll is presented as a gift, symbolizing good health, success, and protection from harm. There is a taboo that recipients of this amulet doll should place the doll into their drawers as soon as they receive it, and never open the drawer until the doll receiver gets married. After getting married and giving birth to a child, and if the child is a girl, the doll is simply passed down. But if the child is a boy, some say they change the clothes and dress the doll like a traditional Japanese warrior, which shows the significance and symbolism of this Ichimatsu doll. Traditionally, it was believed that one would be cursed if they discarded or handled the Ichimatsu doll harshly. Ultimately, with its vividly lifelike and childlike appearance, the Ichimatsu doll has become a popular subject for ghost stories, leading to the creation of the Kikuko doll, also called the Okiku doll in other versions, a tale where the doll's hair grows. In the 7th year of the Japanese Showa era, in Hokkaido, on August 15, 1918, there was an 18-year-old boy named Suzuki Nagayoshi, or Eikichi in other versions. At the Daisho exhibition held in Sapporo, he purchased a kimono-clad, short-haired Ichimatsu doll as a gift for his 3-year-old sister Kikuko, whom he adored. Delighted by her brother's present, young Kikuko cherished the doll so much. The doll soon became not only her favorite toy, but also her best friend. Everywhere she would go, the doll would go with her. However, the following year, Kikuko tragically passed away at the age of 4 after catching a cold which developed into pneumonia, leaving Nagayoshi in a state of despair. The family placed her remains and the doll on the family's household altar, alongside the shrine they had made for their daughter, a common practice in most Japanese households for the commemoration of the dead, where they offered prayers every morning and evening. They named the doll Okiku after their late daughter's name. As some time passed, the family started to notice something strange happening with the doll's hair. A once cleanly cut, sharp hairstyle with neat ends was day by day turning into a mangled mess of split ends and contrasting colors. To the touch, the doll's hair felt different, a far cry from the smooth, silky strands they had once known. And surprisingly, the doll's hair began to grow gradually, reaching the point where it touched her shoulders from its initial short length. The family reported that soon after their child's passing, they began to dream of the doll, and sometimes they would wake to a startle as the doll would be right there next to them, staring at them from the side of the bed. Loud bangs and thuds could be heard from above and from below. The lights in the house began to flicker and would then immediately shut off for hours, leaving the family in total blackness. It was reported that as a year would get closer to certain dates, most notably the girl's birthday or the anniversary of her death, the doll would start laughing hysterically, often followed by harrowing screams and shouts. The family was utterly confused and traumatized, so much so that they went and hired a local shaman to investigate what was going on at the property. This phenomenon led the family to believe that Kikuko's soul had entered the doll. In 1938, Nagayoshi relocated to Sakhalin Island following the change of emperors and the Showa era. He entrusted Kikuko's remains and the doll to a temple called Manyenji in Kurisawa-cho, Hokkaido. After the war, Nagayoshi returned to his hometown and immediately visited Manyenji, where he claimed to have seen the doll with even longer hair. The story of the Kikuko doll is further embellished with various details as it gets passed down. Another version of the story tells that on March 24, 1958, a miner named Suzuki Nagayoshi left the doll at the temple along with a note saying, "This is my daughter, please take care of her." The doll was left untouched at the temple until one day it appeared in a monk's dream. In response to Sakeshichi's voice asking to have his daughter's hair cut, the awakened monk found the doll and discovered that its hair, originally ear-length, had grown all the way down to its waist. Some say the Kikuko doll legend originated from the latter story, saying that in 1968 it was recreated into a tale about the siblings Suzuki and Kikuko by a journalist who wrote about this story in the magazine Young Lady. There are various theories to why the hair of this Ichimatsu doll grows. This traditional doll, which has the role of performing a magical function to protect the owner's fortune, originally had human hair used to create the doll's hair. One theory suggests that there was an ingredient in the adhesive called chondroitin that was used as a glue, which also had the property of promoting hair growth. In reality, there were cases where the hair of these dolls grew after production, so even after the doll was made, they would wait a little while before shipping it out. They would then neatly cut the hair that had grown unevenly to a short length, like a bob cut, and then send it off. However, there is a counter-argument that no matter what, it is impossible for short hair that reaches the ear to grow to the waist. Others say the secret lies under a doll production method described in a book written by Makoto Yamamoto Hiroshi in 2002, which talks about the hair arrangement technique used in Japanese dolls or cheap dolls sold near Hawaii. For example, let's say the desired hair length of this doll is 10 centimeters. They would tie a loop with thread around the hair in the middle, and then they would implant the looped hair into the doll's head to secure it. As a result, the hair that was originally longer than 20 centimeters would be folded in half, appearing to be 10 centimeters in length. This method involved loosely securing the hair to the doll's scalp, so when you touched or combed the doll's hair, the looped part that was holding the center of the hair would come loose, giving the appearance that the hair was growing. So, like many urban legends, there are some hints of scientific facts that could back up strange phenomena. Nonetheless, rumors about this doll persist even to this day. The latest rumor that has tourists spooked is the claim that the mouth of Okiku, the doll, slowly opens, and that if you dare to look closer and peer inside the blackness, you'll see baby teeth sprouting like weeds from translucent gums. Still skeptical? Well, the good or bad news is that you can see for yourself. Okiku the haunted doll is currently located in a private shrine inside a small wooden box. The shrine can be found at the Maninji Temple. Until you can pluck up the courage, she will be there, waiting patiently for her next daring visitor. Okiku is a story for all fans of the strange, bizarre, and the paranormal. It's a story that is now deeply embedded within Japanese folklore. As much as the story's main basis is that of mythology, magic, and terror, Okiku is a story that offers so much more. Stories of love, devotion, and of tragedy can all be found within this captivating tale. Even in today's internet age of information overload, it is safe to say that the legend of Okiku, the haunted doll, lives on. And that concludes our episode for today. Thank you all for tuning in, and see you on our next episode. Stay tuned and see you soon.